Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another video. And as usual, before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or HaKodash. And Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of the only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. And I want to say double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, and all the teachers of Great Stone who rule and teach well. Peace and salutation to the men who's pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth. To you, brothers, I say shalom. To the Akwat out there who's just sitting back, paying attention, listening, and learning in silence. To you, sisters, I say shalom. Shabbat shalom to all the sincere brothers out there pushing this word. Shabbat shalom. Today's lesson, I wanted to get into the ordained men / Romans 13 because contrary to popular belief, there's men who were ordained to teach the sheep, to teach the flock this gospel. And these men were ordained by Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. And this is the reason why we give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, and all the teachers of Great Stone. Why? There's protocols that we need to follow, right? Now, I want to just grab a precept real quick. This is 1 Timothy 5:17. It says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor. So, hence the reason why we give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, right? It says, especially they who labor in the word and in the doctrine. So, these men have been laboring in the word, right? And in the doctrine. They have kept the doctrine from day one. They have been on the highways and the byways laboring week in and week out, right? Hence the reason why we're here now with the truth, why we're here with the understanding, right? Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yeshai has ordained these men to push forth the word of this book, right? Now, let's go into Romans 13 and verse 1. Let's start at verse 1 and read down. It says, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh. The powers that be are ordained by Yahweh. Now, I want to get it in another version. It says here in the CSB, it says, let everyone submit to the governing authorities, since there is no authority except from Yahweh, and the authorities that exist are instituted by Yahweh. So these men were placed in the position that they are placed in through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Now let's go to verse 2. It says, so then the ones who resist the authority is opposing Yahweh's command, and those who oppose it will bring judgment on themselves. Because why? If you oppose these men who is teaching the true words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, you are opposing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai because they're bringing the words from the book, right? Now, verse 3, it says, for rulers are not a terror to good conduct. So if you're behaving right, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, if you're doing your videos, if you're going to camp, you're watching videos, you're pretty much abiding by the rules, the statutes, the laws of the book, then you're good. It says, but to bad, do you want to be unafraid of the one in authority? Do what is good, and you will have its approval. So if you're doing good, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you don't have nothing to worry about. That's what it's saying. It says, verse 4, for it is Yahweh's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, because it does not carry the sword for no reason, for it is Yahweh's servant and avenger that brings wrath on the one who does wrong. So if you're breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, not doing what you're supposed to do, then you have everything to worry about. Now you have everything to worry about, because why? The sword and destruction might come your way. Judgment might come your way because you're not doing what is right. Right? So you people out there who are talking about God is speaking to you and you don't need to do this and you don't need to do that. You don't need to follow any man. You can read and understand for yourself. That's nonsense, man. That's bullshit. Because if that's the case, you would have been way further than where the apostles have been. You would have known who you were before the apostles came on the highways and the byways. Here we are today in 2026, and the Israelite movement are, the Israelites have been awakened. There's so many people who are speaking about the Israelites now. It's unreal, right? Yeah, verse 5. Therefore, you must submit, not only because of wrath, but also because of your conscience. So and you know when you're going off, you know when you're doing wrong, you know when you're not doing any videos, how you feel. Your conscience um, makes you feel guilty for not doing what you're supposed to do. This is Malachi 2 and 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, right? And these men are priests because they have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And they should seek the law at his mouth. Who should seek the law at his mouth? The ones who are lost, the ones who are walking around bug out. I'm speaking about the ones who are dead, right? For he is the messenger of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, right? So these men, Apostle Tahar, or Apostle Aram, all the men who's teaching right now on the highways and the byways, on the internet, they have the law, statutes, and commandment in their mouth. Why wouldn't you want to listen to them, right? This is Nehemiah 8, verse 7 and 8. It says, the Levites, Jeshua, Beni, Sherebian, Jema, Akka, Sheba, it's a bunch of names here. It says, then instructed the people in the law while everyone remained in their places. So these men had what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And what they do, then they instructed the people in the law, right? Because if you notice today, a lot of these people are bug outs because they are doing everything contrary to the law, eating what they shouldn't be eating, acting the way they shouldn't be acting, sleeping with other man's woman. Like these things are against the law. And now we're here, starting with the apostles all the way down, to bring you people back to the law, to show you people that there's rules that you have to abide by. How can you be living in a society, which right now we're living in Esau society, and if you break Esau's rule, you have to pay the price for that. But you think that you are an Israelite and you're not supposed to live under the law. You're not supposed to be doing the laws of Yahweh Shem Shai to do what? Right? Verse 8, it says, they read from the book of the law of Yahweh and clearly explain the meaning of what was being read, helping the people understand each passage. This is the reason why the brothers are on the highways and the byways, breaking down the scriptures to it in its simplest form so you people can understand. It says they read from the book of the law of Yahweh and clearly explained the meaning of what was being read. Revelation 13, the MOTB, the four beasts in Daniel, the beasts in Revelation. These things have to be broken down to you people so you can understand. These have to be broken down to us. Then we came into the understanding. Now it's our turn to teach you people the true meaning of these precepts, these prophecies. Right? Jeremiah 3:15, it says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So knowledge and understanding comes from the book. True wisdom and knowledge and understanding come from the Holy Scriptures, come from Yahweh Shem Shai. He has programmed us so that we can teach you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the book, starting with the apostles, come all the way down to the younger brothers, right? So when you people ask why we give double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders, and the teachers, these are the reasons why. Because they feed us. They give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the word of Yahweh Shem Shai through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. And through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, we receive it with full understanding, right? And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh Shem Shai, Bashem Kakadash, Shalom.